Welcome to Sportsify. I'm your host, Matt Novak. Alongside me, as always, Grant Hawker.
What up? Always.
On the third mic, Jamison DeFore.
More football.
And reminding us all the time that we're wrong about a lot of things, Mike Connor.
How's it going? How's it going?
I mean, some of us are wrong about a lot of things. Speaking of that person, let's get to him. He's going to be hosting our next division as we're doing the division breakdowns. We are moving into the AFC East, and Grant has this division.
Alrighty. So first, I'm just going to order. I wrote notes, so this is not my order of how I think it's going, but I've got the New England Patriots as the first team to talk about. I think this team, a lot of people are pretty high on this team because of one dude and one name, and that is Mike Vrabel. That is the big addition for this team this year. Gerard Mayo was a joke of a coach last year. Holy cow. Him going I knew it was over when he said from the podium, once those guys cross the sideline, I can't do anything for them. You're the freaking head coach, dude. Yeah, you can. You're talking to these guys
Actually, you can
throughout.
talk to them in their headsets.
Yeah, you talk to a linebacker and you talk to a quarterback, and he's like, nothing that I can do for you. But they ranked bottom third in every offense and defensive category. They were 30th in offense, and so that's been an issue with this team since Brady left. Even with Belichick, the offense has been something that has been unoriginal. It has been boring. It has not been fun in any way, shape, or form. But the big addition that they did make was in the draft with the fourth overall pick. They drafted Will Campbell to shore up that offensive line that was was the lowest graded unit in the league by PFF. The lowest graded unit by like 10 points. It was ridiculous how bad that offensive line was. So they went and got their guy in Will Campbell. If you've seen some of his interviews, this dude's awesome. He is all about his quarterback and protecting his guy. So Drake May, that's their guy. They drafted him a couple years ago. Drafted him last season. He really showed promise when he started. And their other big addition that they made to help, which I will say is someone that we clown on this show quite a bit, but is still an upgrade for this team, is Stephon Diggs, a wide receiver. They came in and paid him some money. He actually, before he got injured, he was on pace for over 1,000 yards. He had 500 yards in 8 games last season before his injury. So as much as he's a cancer in the locker room and an issue everywhere he goes, the dude does still produce. And for a team that has never been able to produce at wide receivers, outside of like Julian Edelman and Randy Moss, they do have someone who will come in and produce, and will be someone who just is a catch machine, that kind of stuff. But guys, the addition of Mike Vrabel is so huge. This is a guy who's been in there, he's won it. Been in the Patriots organization, gone to AFC championships, been number one seeds, knows how to get it done. And he will lead this team and provide actual leadership, which is what this team has solely needed. And so there isn't really any players left from the dynasty. Like, this is 100% a team that doesn't know how to get things done. And now they do because they have Mike Vrabel. I think this team is going to surprise some people. Some people do have them potentially getting a wild card spot. I do have them marked as one of the most improved teams in terms of their record. Again, they went 4-13 last season. I think they're going to go 9-8. I think they're going to improve their win total by 5 games. And a lot of that is just the Mike Vrabel effect. I do think they've improved on offense. That defense is still good. They've still got players. That defense was never. They went in with Christian Gonzalez. Some of these pieces, they have really nice pieces. They also got former Eagle Milton Williams from the Eagles. So I think that they're an improved team. Again, improving their win total by 5, going 9-8. How's that sound to you guys?
I like the number. I think that makes sense. As you said, they've replaced a lot of people. They got 9 rookies.
Yes,
on
they're
the
very
first
young
or second string. I think the youngest or second youngest team in the league. But they have some key pieces where it matters. Really like Antonio Gibson, for instance, as a depth piece in the running back room. And should Stevenson have his struggles that and continue that with the fumbles, Travion Henderson looks to be
he looks
that is advertised.
Yes,
he is the number one guy there, no doubt. Ramondre fumbled a couple times in the preseason. I think Rabel's just be like, nope, we're done with that, and just go with this Henderson kid because he was phenomenal in college, and it looks like it's just came right over to the NFL. He's ready to go. Yeah. Draft him in fantasy, guys. Draft that kid in fantasy.
Absolutely. I don't know if I love him as your second starting running back, if I'm going to be really honest, just because of the share load. But I'm a volume
number
guy.
3. Yeah.
Yep. I'm a volume guy. But I do think, to your point, Grant, about the youth of the team and what they did in the draft, I love Will Campbell. Mm-hmm. Love him at left tackle. Absolutely phenomenal get.
He's going to be the 10-year guy. He's going to be the 10-year guy. He's going to be there. He's going to produce.
9 makes a lot of sense. You also cannot go wrong with Josh Dobbs as your backup.
No.
Behind Drake May. Love that piece. They continue to keep Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper there. Those are some great mainstays. And, they also love that Morgan Moses is in the right tackle role for this team. Mm-hmm. Again, you've got some experience where it matters. And they've done a really good job. Also underrated Mac Hollins, by the way, in the wide receiver room.
Mm-hmm. The Bills.
Yep, that was a great in-division get for them as well. So some good pieces where it matters. They've got a lot of youthfulness, but you have one of the best head coaches in the NFL, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think we all said he's like the best hire of all the head coaching, transition that there was this past offseason. And what I will say, towards the end of the season, Drake May really did come alive. And in his final 4 starts, he had only just 2 turnover-worthy plays after having 14 his previous starts. So the progression was there. And so a full off season, again, like we've talked about, of him being the guy, not these other guys, him coming in to sit. This is his team. And they, with Henderson and Stephon Diggs, still got Hunter Henry who can catch and be a good safety valve and an experience. They're really trying to build around this guy, and I think this offense is going to be improved quite a bit. And so I have them, 9-8. And I think they're going to be pushing for a wild card.
10 wins would not surprise me because they're playing the NFC South, and they get to play the Jets twice. Yep. And I'm not high on the Dolphins this year, so they're playing the Dolphins twice. They're going to split that.
I've got some stuff for there. If we want to go there. Let's
go right there, but I think 10 wins is really doable for this team.
Yeah, I want to say something because that's what I was going to say too. I think this is a team, especially if you can split one with the Bills, which sometimes they can tend to hold it down in Gillette. I think they could be a 10. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think their over/under is actually at 8.5. So 9 is pretty comfortable, but it's a team that if you can steal that home game, or at least steal maybe one of those games where you wouldn't expect them to win.
Like against the Bucs or something.
They will. Yeah. Every team will get
a 10-win team.
Every team will get a game you don't expect them to win. Every given Sunday is still true.
Well, and they have the Giants at home, right? And you're looking at this and you're like, these are gettable games for this. If they improved, 10 wins is not out of the question. I understand why people are kind of high on them.
Yeah.
So good call.
Yeah. So, okay, we're going to go to the Miami Dolphins. So this team last year had a record of 8-9. They were not good. Tua once again died on the field. As we talked about, a very funny moment is that we talked about Tua's helmet is a crock pot and his brain is leaking out of his ear. And I'm just gonna say this,
and I stand by that.
And again, how many more times is he going to be throwing up gang signs after a hit before we decide to pull the plug on this situation? What the heck is happening? I am not high on this team at all. And here is my prediction. I think Mike McDaniel is the first coach to go, and I don't think he makes it through this season. I don't think he makes it through the season. Dude, this team is not tough. They don't win games when they're supposed to. And I'm sorry, they are all flash and no substance. The team does not win games that they're supposed to. Oh, it's too cold. We can't play in the cold. Dude, that's over half of the football teams. You're in the AFC East, bro. You're in New York. You're in New England. What are we doing? And you can't win games. You try to You try to do all of these things like, oh, we're going to be prepared this year. No, they've never won a game. They've never won a have-to-win game once. Give me one must-win game have they won since Mike McDaniel's been their coach. I don't care that he's cute and he's like a little awkward and weird and he's got the edgy sunglasses and all this stuff and is kind of funky and says stuff weird from the podium. They doesn't translate. They don't win football games. This team is nothing, and they've hitched their future on a quarterback who can't win games and isn't tough either and dies on the field every third game. I'm sorry. I don't care that you're trying to learn jujitsu to fall better. Is that the point we're at?
That's not
is that the
if you're
point
my
we're
quarterback, if that's the thing that you're doing to improve as a player, that's not what I would want you to be doing.
No,
I want you to learn, I don't know, how to do something better than how to get tackled better.
You don't want to be the every year leading votes getter or be in that top tier for comeback player of the year. He's literally the guy who's always up for it every single year.
No. That one thing I did say one thing I will say I did like about this team is their commitment to the trenches. I did appreciate that in some of their offseason
first
moves.
3 picks. Yeah.
Yep, and their first 3 picks being the line of scrimmage. I have that right here. Their big one was Kenneth Grant from Michigan.
I love that kid. Oh.
They signed guard James Daniels from the Steelers to shore up the O-line interior. So they were committed to important things. I will give them that. But the Dolphins cornerbacks had the lowest grade last year in terms of PFF. That was the lowest graded cornerback room in the entire NFL. And Jalen Ramsey was traded, and Kadar Kohu suffered a season-ending knee injury. They're 2 starters to shore up that and keep that afloat. And now they're also gone. So that is going to get worse. They're relying on veterans like Jack Jones and Mike Hilton, and it's a couple unproven guys for that.
Mike Hilton got hurt in his first week there.
Yeah, and
already battling.
They were the worst graded with Jalen Ramsey, and yeah, he's lost a little bit of a step for sure, but they were the worst graded with that. And now they're gone. Okay. They also have a brutal schedule. Bills twice, Ravens, Steelers, Commanders, Bengals, Bucks, Chargers, and a better Patriots team. They're gonna win 5 or 6 games this year, guys. They're going to win 5 or 6 games. Mike McDaniel is not making it through the season. Tua is the AFC version of Kyler Murray. Doesn't get it done when it matters. Might have good stats, might flash, but he's not the guy. And the sooner that they realize that, the better.
This is maybe a hot take, but I wanna warn everybody. What trade deadline's week 8 now, right?
Yeah.
Week 6, week 8, something like that. I would not be surprised if, looking at that schedule, that if they don't start looking and shopping Tyreek Hill.
Yes.
Oh,
well, and also all that there was a drama this season.
Yeah.
About it. He wasn't showing up.
Some team somewhere is gonna pay out for some Tyreek Hill to up their odds to get to that Super Bowl or something.
Yeah.
And I would not be send him to the Raiders or something. They need a good number 1 receiver, right? As much as we like Jacoby Myers and things like that, but if Tyreek Hill on the team elevates them that extra level, that is what that is, right? And so we're looking at that if McDaniels is on the hot seat. Chargers with Tyreek Hill.
Imagine
that cannon with Herbert throwing down the ball. Oh man. But you're looking at that and you're like, okay, so if McDaniels is going, you've got to start trading some of those guys. Even Jalen, even if it's just Jalen Waddle. Waddle's still a really good wide receiver. They have pieces you can trade away. Achane is hurt half the games anyway. So and that's going to go towards your saying they only win 5 games, because Achane is going to be great for 2 games and then miss the rest of the year. He's going to get 400 yards total offense in 2 games and then look amazing and then be hurt for the rest of the year. Yeah. It's just the way it works.
I will say, if I was going to project a week, if they don't win on December 7th, he is gone. And it's because they have the Colts week 1. It's a winnable game.
Yep, sure.
They're going to lose to the Patriots. They're going to lose to the Bills. They have the Jets on September 29th, winnable game. They have the Panthers on October 5th, winnable game. Then it's the Chargers. They're going to lose. Then they have the Browns. That's winnable. They have the Falcons. Probably not winnable. Probably not.
Pencil in, probably around there. Tua will
Ravens,
throw up gang
Bills,
signs.
Commanders are going to lose all those. And then you've got the Saints, Jets, Steelers, Saints and Jets. So and we know they're going to lose 1, 2, 3, 4, freaking 5, 6 games in there. We know they're going to lose that. If they've lost a 7th, I think at that point, they're done.
Yeah.
Like he's gone. December 7th, he loses the Jets where he splits that series. He's done. Like it just.
I'm sorry. Like Mike McDaniel's he can be a fine offensive play caller. He can't
great offensive coordinator.
He can't lead a team. Like they have no grit. They can't stick it out. And they know that Tua's gonna get hurt, and Zach Wilson is their backup quarterback. Like it's not been a priority for them to try and figure that out. Go get a Josh Dobbs like we talked about, or things like that. So yeah, this team is a joke. I don't like.
I think you're right on. I think you're right on.
I think they're gonna. So the over under is 7.5. Take the under, folks.
I like 6.
Take the
like
under.
6.
Yeah, I have them at 6 and 11.
The worst thing that can happen.
Go for it, Jameson.
I was going to say the worst thing on that front of, first coach fired. The worst thing that can happen to you if you're a Dolphins fan is that that little we have little pockets where we can maybe win a couple of games here, just like string it along, or it's like, you start with the Colts and then you eventually play Jets, Panthers, and then you play the Browns, and then you're like, okay, then I got the Saints and the Jets again. And it's like, okay, like you don't want to get stuck where it's like, oh, but we won like a couple of games here and then we lost one and then we won another. Like that back and forth can really screw you. You just want to flat out get it out of the way, get him out of there. Yeah, because that would be the worst thing.
Take that long because the division sucks.
Yeah,
like the division, as a whole, it's not a great division. Like I will say, there's two teams that are really not good, and one team that's getting better.
Yeah,
and obviously an elite. But yeah, that's I don't think the division's amazing, so it'll probably take that long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, so the Dolphins, they haven't won a postseason game since 2000. It's the longest active drought in the NFL, and that drought will continue. They're going 6 and 11. Take the under, folks, at 7.5. Moving on.
Leave it right there.
Woo. Yep. The Jets finished with 5 and 12 after a drama-filled season. Holy cow! My favorite moment of last season was finding out that the GM's son was using Madden ratings to make personnel decisions. That was awesome. So out with Aaron Rodgers, out with Robert Saleh, in with Justin Fields at quarterback, and Lions defensive coach Aaron Glenn. Here's what I'll say. The Jets are building a monster O-line. Like, just right off the bat, that O-line, in the first round tackles, Olu Fashanu and Ahmad Membu, those are two guys that they have invested in the first round picks. It could feature, honestly, one of the top offensive lines, like by the end of the year, because they have Membu, they've got Fashanu, they've got Elijah Vera Tucker, and John Simpson, who all ranked top 10 in their position groups in PFF last year. So this offensive line is looking to be pretty stout. And so the big addition, obviously, is Justin Fields coming in. He opened with led the Steelers to a start of 4-2 before Russell Wilson came in and took that job from him. But he really regressed those final couple games, which led to that benching of him for Russell Wilson. He had a 52.2 passer grading with just 2-time big throws and 6 turnover-worthy plays in those final 3 outings. So it really fell off. But the Jets' big moves this offseason was extending their 2022 draft picks in Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner. That was their big thing, keeping those guys together. Sauce Gardner signed a 4-year, $124 million extension that ties him to the Jets through 2030. Garrett Wilson also reached a 4-year agreement, $130 million contract extension that made him one of the highest paid wide receivers. The thing with the Jets, Aaron Glenn, his top priority is culture and reshaping the mindset of the New York Jets. That's his job this year. Coming from a very strong culture in Detroit, stepping into a place that has no culture and was just blown up by a terrible GM, a terrible quarterback situation. And this is all about culture and reshaping for them. I think for this team, this is also Justin Fields' final shot. Try and be a starter. I think this is it. If he can play decent football, I think this team is going to improve in the win total. And what I'll say for them is that their over-under is 5.5 wins. I would take the over. I think this team is going to be 7-10 or or 8-9, and that's a much better 7-10 than a Dolphins 7-10. You are optimistic. You like what you're doing. You like where this team is going if they win 7 games this year. And that's where I have them ranking third in the division because I have the Dolphins placing last. This is, again, they have some better pieces. They're stronger. That O-line's legit. And I think that this is going to be an upgrade for them at most spots. And so I like them at 7-10 for the New York Jets this season.
And Glenn's going to have that defense running the same, right?
Yeah.
Even under Saleh, everybody's like, this defense is good.
Yeah, the defense was not the issue.
And then Saleh left, and they fired Saleh, and the defense went down a little bit. But you got Glenn coming in. I don't think the defense is going to be an issue at all. Yeah. I think you're right on. I like 7 wins here. I agree with you.
Take the over. 5.5 is pretty low for them.
They're going to run the snot out of the football.
Yeah.
Like they have, Justin Fields essentially in this offense is going to be like a running back.
Yeah.
Don't expect them to throw the ball around too much, but it's like if you are going to win football games by just pounding the rock and then playing great defense, you can get to 6 or 7 wins, get over that 5.5 line there, and take home that third place, whatever that's worth to you. But it's certainly like a culture reset there for them. Bring a little bit of that Lions just like ferocity over to that team. Nasty defense. Pound the rock. I don't think Justin Fields is going to be around for more than a year, if I'm being completely honest with you. But if you can just get by a year of just beating up teams and just win 6 or 7 games,
just find an identity for your team. This team has been identityless for years at this point. So find something, find 1 or 2 things to be good at, because this schedule, they've got some winnable games here. And I think if Justin Fields can just, again, manage, if they can play good defense and run the ball, and he can just manage, make 4 or 5 throws a game, a big third down here and there, he's fine.
To Garrett Wilson. Who's phenomenal.
Yes, and he will be fine. Like, he'll be fine. He'll throw for 25 touchdowns. He'll run for 8 or something like that. And, like, he'll be fine. But, yeah, he's not a future guy, but this is really the last chance. He's potentially, honestly, still advertising himself to other teams. Again, that's what he's doing. But I am optimistic overall that this team will be better, and I think that Aaron Glenn will bring culture and identity to this team that needs it, despite their front office being insane and Woody Johnson being arguably the worst owner out there. But just bring an identity, bring some grit, and like they'll win 7 games and they'll hit the over. So, and then play and place them third in the division. So
I do not care about this team at all.
Nope.
So I agree.
I will not be watching any Jets games, to be very clear.
No.
0.
I will not either. But yeah. All right. Last team.
So real quick, can I predict something for you for this last team?
Sure.
Your rundown is Josh Allen, and play defense?
Yes. Absolutely. It's that. But also this Sean McDermott, this is it, bro. This is it. This is it, dude. You rank 28th in total defense. You're a defensive head coach. If you can't run your defense, what are you good at? Like, what do you do? What do you do here? If your defense is ranked 28th, okay? Like, again, we've been saying the last couple of years, Josh Allen cannot be Superman. Like, it's not like you won't take that next step if he's Superman. Like, again, look back to that playoff game last year. My huge complaints as to why they did not win that game against the Chiefs was James Cook did not get the ball once on that drive. Like, it cannot just solely rely on him. It cannot. And Sean McDermott, get this freaking defense in line, because otherwise you're gone. Like, you're gone. You've been around for too long. You've had really good defenses in the past, but you're trading guys. You're not signing guys. You've got to build it. And what I will say is that all of their picks, 6 out of their 8 total picks, were on the defensive side of the ball. Yep. So they at least understood the weakness and what they needed to do. The big one was Maxwell Harrison, the corner there. They need to improve in that secondary. But Josh Allen's going to be good. They finally paid James Cook, so that is short up. James Cook really showed up and is a great fantasy get for you. If you're needing a running back and you went wide receiver heavy, look at James Cook, get him done. But I I do feel like Sean McDermott is on the hot seat this year. And honestly, at this point, if they don't make a Super Bowl, it's a disappointment. And that was probably the case last year too. Was disappointment. But Josh Allen, he can get you close, but you gotta help him out. And it's not a slight on quarterbacks that they need help. Quarterbacks need help. Okay. This is a team sport more than any other sport.
It's the Mahomes thing.
Yes. Like, yeah, Mahomes is great. And he's in this great conversation, but he needs his help. Like, and that was case in point in the Super Bowl. But if they do not go to a Super Bowl this year, I do believe that Sean McDermott is probably going to get fired. I do believe that will happen, and they will go for an offensive coach and really try to help out Josh Allen for the first time. Because if Josh Allen could get an offensive coach, could you imagine where else he could go? Like, so that's where I'm at with this team.
That's a good point.
The over under is 12.5. I take the under at 12. I think they're gonna win 12 games. They're gonna go 12-5. So for me in this division, it's Bills 12-5, Patriots 9-7, Jets 7-10, and Dolphins at 6-11 for the AFC East. Is there anything to add for this team, this division? I feel like it's pretty cut and dry.
I think it's pretty cut and dry.
I was going to remark on this team. You were right about how they spent their picks. Totally agree.
Yes.
But none of those guys are going to start. And I didn't love that. It was a lot of build up your background, if you will, your bench. This is also a bottom 4 wide receiver unit.
Yes.
In the league. Bringing over Josh Palmer from the Chargers that they were more than willing to let go of. An aged but somewhat effective Curtis Samuel, as well as Elijah Moore, who is just a take the top off the defense type of guy who's in the latter half of career. All of that is okay. One of those moves would have been fine if you'd gone and drafted a premier wide receiver.
Mm-hmm. I do agree.
They did not do that.
I mean, they haven't had a bona fide number one
ever
since
Diggs.
Diggs, yes. But he's insane. So there's that. And then
and also like the real emergence actually came from Josh Allen after, like, and you could argue like the last year of Diggs, and then after Diggs is where Josh Allen has emergence. Like, dude, get this guy someone.
And the Joey Bosa move, as well as bringing back Jordan Poyer, is fantastic. I think both things are very valuable as defense. Joey's going to start on the right side where he belongs. And you have Greg Rousseau on the other side, who's done a good job. Ed Oliver's terrifying in the middle.
But they've had some of these guys and still ranked 28th in overall defense.
Right. But it hasn't been the front 7. That's not the issue. Matt Milano getting injured would definitely affect them.
That was huge.
That is a massive thing for them. But if I asked you guys I would not call any of you casual fans, you can't name a cornerback on this team.
No.
Just Hairston.
The guy they drafted.
The rookie that they just drafted. That's the only guy I know.
Mm-hmm. And he's not gonna play.
Yeah, not gonna start.
When you're bringing back Tre'Davious White, who the Rams had, they took a flyer on after the injury, and for the Rams to get rid of a DB at that time when they let him go is like that should tell you plenty about where he's at right now.
Yeah.
And realistically, Cole Bishop's a nice piece to have for a moment here. DeMar Hamlin, who we all watch die on the field, is there and present, and we're glad he's healthy. But
and he's a fine player. He's good.
Fine.
He's an average.
He's had great moments.
Yes,
like
he
genuinely,
actually
DeMar's actually had some really good moments. But they went and got another rookie in Jordan Hancock, who's trying to fight to stay on the team. Jordan's probably going to make one of these people not have a job here really soon. Mm-hmm. He's just got to get back into shape here to get ready for the season. And so they're holding him off the active roster at the moment. But legitimately, they did some nice things, but it's all depth oriented. And I'm just concerned that
rotational defensive line players.
They brought in
starters.
Panthers linebacker Shaq Thompson. Again, if you got him 4 or 5 years ago, that is more of a move than it is now, and being 31 now. So
a lot of their moves. Though when teams do that, It does not elevate them. You're just
they're lateral.
putting
They're
Band-Aids
lateral
on
moves.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of these to me read as like too little, too late. Like, okay, yeah, you got Joey Bosa, great, maybe 3 years ago. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And really, and really, like these guys are all in those secondary slots, be it nose tackle, defensive tackle, cornerback, safety. They're all in these spots where there is a really good guy in front of them. TJ Sanders is not going to take Ed Oliver's spot. You know, like legitimately, Jordan Hancock is not going to play above Taylor Rapp. That's not happening. Like not anytime soon. So it just isn't. This should have been last year. It just should have been last year. But they're still going to win 12 games. I agree with you. It's just frustrating to see that they didn't make these moves sooner. Totally agree. He's on the hot spot. We'll see what happens. This division, though, clearly has one good team.
Yep. And so we'll see them in the playoffs. Who knows from there? So, yeah, I think that's kind of a wrap on this division. AFC East. Be interesting.
Right. Well, we will keep moving through our divisions and get you again our Super Bowl hopefuls in just a few episodes. And we are counting down the hours to the beginning of the NFL season. This is Sportsify.